And you are live, so you're all set. You go ahead. I'm just going to disappear.
Okay, thank you. We are here for the Northborough Community Affairs Committee meeting, and pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, GLC 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place, this meeting of the Northborough Community Affairs Committee will be conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance by members of the public will be permitted. So I'd like to call to order, and I guess we'll do attendance of everybody. So Susie Sasuka, chair, and I'm here. Rebecca?
Hi, Rebecca Foley Mahopoulos here.
Pam?
Pamela Markey here.
Jess?
Jessica Hay here.
Liz is not here tonight. Lisa?
Lisa Diebold Smith, present.
Beth?
Beth Payne, present.
Oh, and Liz is here. Please amend the minutes, Pammy. And Trisha had to work tonight, so she's not with us, but we will be filling her in on everything. So I wanted to introduce two people. We are down a person right now in need of a member desperately. And we have Jen Kenny here. She has applied and is going through all the steps to join our committee. So welcome.
Nice.
And we have Kristen Wixted, a good friend of mine, and she's going to be here speaking about a great idea she has for the town cleanup. Okay, so the first thing to do is the approval of minutes for February 2021. Pam sent them out for us to review. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a
I'll
motion.
motion to approve. I beat you. I motion to approve.
Would you like to second, Rebecca?
I will second, yes.
Thank you. Okay, all in favor, raise your hand and we'll see if anyone, right? Unanimous. All right. The financial report.
Just a reminder, any votes have to actually be a roll call vote on a Zoom
Oh,
meeting and
okay.
be official.
Okay.
Sorry about
Lisa?
that.
That's okay. Okay, so I vote yes. Lisa made the motion, you seconded. Jess?
Yes.
Beth?
Yes.
Liz?
Yes.
And now the financial report, Jess?
Yep. So I sent it out for you all to review this morning. We didn't have a lot of activity this month, but we did get the $400 check from the Cultural Council, thanks to Susie, that helped us reimburse the jack-o'-lantern stroll sign from back in October. So with that donation, we had no expenses. Our ending total right now is $7,852.11. And that's it.
785211.
Yes, 785-211.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I already explained about we're in need of a member, and Ms. Kenny has applied and is going through the steps right now. So we wanted her to join and see how it
Susie,
goes.
I think we have to approve. the
Oh, I'm
financial
sorry.
report. No, it's okay.
It's been a long meeting
It's
already.
okay.
Would anyone like to approve the financial report?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, I vote yes. Lisa?
Yes, approve.
Jess?
Yes.
Beck?
Yes.
Liz?
Yes.
Okay. And now on to Restaurant Munchie Madness. We're about halfway through. And we're going to report on how it's going, and we have to figure out the prize. Right now, through the Google form and our website, we have 39 entries about. I checked this afternoon, so we could have had more lately. We had 4 Facebook tag entries. Insta, I wasn't sure. I didn't get a chance to get on the computer to check that. And I wanted to know about, have we had any hard copies?
I got one.
Yeah, I haven't
Okay.
gotten any yet.
I was very excited.
That is very exciting.
Yeah.
Mine keeps
Yes.
blowing away. I have a rock in it, but it still keeps blowing.
Oh,
away.
I've put like 3 huge rocks in mine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that.
It's been a windy
because
week too.
It's been windy,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So just keep
and-
encouraging people to like enter. And I'm still sharing, I have on my calendar, every day is a different business. And I've talked to the businesses and they tell me what they want me to feature. You know, I really want to highlight what they want the world to see. So if you guys have any ideas, I know Lisa, Rebecca, and I have shared when we've gone out. So if you go out to Northborough Eatery, share it and do the tags and everything, because I know you're not entering, but just so your friends will see it and encourage everybody to enter.
It's
Now
all-
the prize. Who were the restaurants that had offered gift cards? It was the
Oh.
chains, right?
Muya, I think, did. Right?
Oh, yes, Muya did. I want to say Lola.
Margarita's asked me if they wanted them, like, they said they would, they offer, well, they said, do you want us to give any prizes? We could find out if we can, so.
I'm sure
Right.
Beyond Nutrition would too.
Yeah, I feel like somebody else offered too.
I think it was Jimmy John's. Was it
Mhm.
Jimmy John's? Who went in there?
I
I
did.
think, yeah, it was somewhere you went, Pam.
Yeah. Well, I know Muya offer. I
Oh.
think he was looking. Wait, the woman from Muya. Yeah, she was mentioning donating. But I informed her that we didn't need to at this point, or we didn't need any
Yeah.
at this point from her. Jimmy John's might have. Don't remember, but I'd happily go back and talk to him. He was very nice.
Right. What are your guys' thoughts on the prize? Should we put all the restaurants into a bin and pull someone out and buy a big gift card or more than one? Or would you like to do, how would you
Should-
like to handle it?
Should we
Or
choose
little
the,
ones from everybody?
what about choosing the, like, the top 3 vote getters to make it like, you know what I mean? Like the top, not
Right.
vote, but the top 3
Like-
businesses from the receipts. Yeah,
respondents. Yeah, like Northborough House of Pizza. Weren't we at one point talking about doing like the most popular and then
then
like
the
someone
least
who
popular.
didn't get anybody
Yeah,
to get a
we
little bit
were.
extra business?
Yeah, we
So
were
something like
talking about that.
Well, should we figure out a monetary prize first and then figure out how, because we could, I mean, if we decide on 150, we could do 50 to 3 different places too. I mean, I don't know. I think it would be nice if we somehow randomly did it or did like a completely underserved restaurant to kind of give them a little bit more business. I feel like Northborough House of Pizza doesn't really need, I mean, we
What if
do,
we
of
did
course,
like
but-
the most, like what Rebecca was saying, like the most visited place, then maybe one that didn't have any, and then maybe we have like a wild card where we pick out of a bin, and that's the last, like, you know, the third prize.
Or does the winner get to choose the third one? Is that the wild card is the winner's choice?
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
That
we
would
could
be
do
a
that
good
too.
idea. Yeah.
And then
The
it's
winner's
more exciting
choice.
to be a winner too,
Yeah.
because you get some sort of say in it.
Because
I
we
mean, I
also
think-
like
don't know
that.
if the ones that don't, that like the ones that are getting the most votes just might have the most tech savvy or contest gambling
Right.
customers
Yeah,
too.
yeah, that's true.
We
I
also
like
want
that
to do
idea
one
that we
winner.
can-
Is that the plan? Did we want to do, are we going to pull a few different people out?
I'd
or
like-
is it going to be one
I'd
winner?
like to do a couple different, winners or restaurants, you're saying? Winners?
Winners for the
Winner.
contest. Are we just doing one winner or do we want to do like three people that participated or something like that? I feel like we've always done 3. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I just didn't know what your thoughts were.
I feel like it comes
I
down
like
to
3, yeah.
prize, yeah, but like what we decide on for a prize.
Yeah.
too. Yeah, I like 3.
I like 3,
Oh,
yeah.
I like
'Cause that's
3.
what
Yeah.
we've
Okay.
done, yeah.
So 3 winners chosen at random from the drawing,
Mm-hmm.
and then the restaurants.
Could they all be winner's choice? Like each person that wins gets to choose? So then we're
That's
not,
a good
we're not
choice.
the ones
Oh, that
making
would
that
be great.
decision.
Oh,
Yeah. And then we only
Good.
have one
Good.
drawing to do.
Right.
Okay.
okay, let's
Great.
do that.
We just draw the winners and then whatever they choose, we get the card and then we meet up, we figure out how to get it to them.
Right. So it's 50, 50 and 50, or should it be like increments, or should we just keep it simple?
I think the same, because I mean, it's not
Yeah,
like
it's not a
they
Works
get
hard.
necessarily
Well,
like won. It was just that they, participated.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
ended up,
yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
Yeah,
50,
true,
50,
true.
50.
It's not like they spent hours carving a pumpkin or
Right.
yeah.
decorating.
Right.
They might have gotten a coffee and won.
Decorating their house. Yes. And a drive through.
One heck of a DD cup of coffee.
Maybe we could do like an announcement of some sort that this is, because I feel like a bunch of people have asked me, what's the prize? What's the prize?
Agreed.
So
Yeah.
maybe,
You'll
I don't
find
know if
out.
other, we could do like a,
An announcement to kind of rev up the competition. so
yeah,
people-
it's like maybe
Yeah.
on the midpoint, like this Friday will be the midway. I don't know if we could do like a story, Liz, like with the prize. I don't know, just, I'm not, I don't know social media well, but. Oh, I think I'm
So
echoing.
for tomorrow, I have Casa Vallarta because they used to have the band. I loved going there on Thursdays. I have Miller's Ice Cream opening on the 19th, so I thought I would do them then. And Athens Pizza, but I could switch it around. So I could do Miller's in the end, because there's a lot of eateries, and every day of this contest is literally slated with a
Right.
eatery.
Mhm.
So I could move Athens to next Thursday maybe, and do Miller's grand opening and the prize announcement on Friday.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Or do you want me to do, because I could do Casa Vallarta tomorrow night, and I could do it right tomorrow morning, do a big announcement.
I think whatever works best for
Yeah.
you, Susie. I think, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I think it's like mid-mark anyway. So just like mid-munchy madness update or something,
Yeah.
I think
And then-
Thursday or Friday. I don't think it really matters if you announce it Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
I think as long as Miller's is on the day that makes sense for Miller's, I don't think it matters really.
March
we good
Madness
with-
starts on tomorrow too, so you might
Oh, that's
that
a
might
good
be a
idea.
good time to announce it. But
Right.
if
We
Okay.
officially decided on the $50 gift certificates. Do we think that's enough? Do we have more in the budget to do something bigger? I mean,
I think bigger is better just because it supports the businesses more as well. So
yeah, I think it's kind of a cool idea, but I honestly don't know the ins and outs of our budgets and make it rain $1,000 each.
Yeah.
This is coming out of our budget this year. If this is successful this year, then maybe next year we'll have more restaurants willing to donate earlier on and we won't have to. We can just help support it a little bit more.
But wasn't the whole
Do it.
point for us to purchase it so that they didn't have to take out of their pocket?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
if we can afford a larger gift card.
Yeah, I think we can do more. I don't think I would go over $100 for each, but I'm just leery of thinking of summer concerts and the bands because that eats up a lot of our funds. And if
Yep.
we don't get as many donations as we normally do, then we might be tight come September. But
well,
I mean,
what
we
if we
do
did 50, 50, and 100, 100, and it's still the luck of the draw. So it's not, because I understand we were talking about it takes, skills, but even if we just had one possibility of getting $100 prize, and $50 prize is nothing to spit at either, but what if we did 2 50s and then the final draw was for $100?
Could we do 175, 50? Because it's more like just a little more.
Yeah, we could. I mean,
I
Yeah,
think
I'm fine with
I
it.
think we could do 3 100s because we're trying to promote the restaurants, and if we get someone who didn't get a lot of entries, then at least they're getting some income. I don't think we're hurting that bad, and then I think it just keeps it even for people, where it wasn't a competition necessarily, other than just
Right.
an
Yeah.
entry.
mhm. Okay.
Let's
personally.
do
but-
that. I mean, you know, I mean, if you and Susie, or you guys know the financials the best, so if we can do that, let's do it. Let's,
I like something bigger and flashier because I think
Yeah.
it's more exciting, but I mean, I mean, even 50
And,
bucks is still 50
the
bucks.
weekends, we really have a lot of momentum. So that's pretty good too. So I think it could kick off a big weekend of basketball and,
Mhm.
viewing and not having to cook.
Mhm.
Okay, good. So one check off the list. So
Yay.
next, you ready? You guys ready to move on? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. To April, our town cleanup. Rebecca and I have started doing some PR. We were on the Frank and Mary show last week. It was great.
it was really fun.
It was. We want to go back. We had a great time with them.
Yeah.
And I had an idea because I have heard of Louise Hool, who our annual town cleanup is named after, and I heard stories from people that knew her, and I didn't really know who she was. So I reached out to the Historical Society, and they did a wonderful post on her and found some pictures. And beautiful woman, and she loved the town and cared about it. So I figured we can launch April with this story, and then the Historical Commission is going to share our posts, and we're just going to try to really reach people that we haven't reached yet and get her name out there so she's like not forgotten. So that's number one, how I was going to kick it off. Trails Committee, I have a list of 13 trails I'm going to add to our sign up sheet. The sign up sheet, I'm going to give you all access and you can review it with me, because it's just like, I just don't know the intricacies of some of the neighborhoods, and I might put that when we launch it and say, if you see an area that has a lot of trash and there's not enough people, just email me and we'll change it. Junior Women's Club, I'm going to follow up with them. They were very interested in helping. I didn't know how many gloves to ask for though. So what was our bag total and what were we getting from the DPW?
So we have 100 still, and they're giving us 200.
Oh, perfect.
Mhm. They said they have the same, they're getting the same ones for us. And he just wants to drop them off at my house. So we're working on that.
Roll them up.
Yeah, roll them.
Get a special little fold and roll those
Yes,
up.
rolling night.
Of trash bags.
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
Nice.
Because I reached out, she was like, all right, let's do our coloring contest again. So we're gonna do it. They're gonna, Northborough Conservation and the Southborough Conservation are gonna have a coloring contest for kids that we'll be able to advertise and work with them and get hopefully them and their parents involved. We talked to Greg Martineau about the schools. He's thrilled. He wants the PR stat to get the principals involved. So we're going to block off the schools so that they can set up school teams. Socially distanced, it's outside, they can wear their school flair, so they're going to take off and run with it too. And then Rebecca had something, received an email about some high schoolers.
Yes, there's a high school group at Algonquin that did a cleanup of the grounds in the fall, and contacted the DPW wanting to know like if they could help again. And then he put the student in touch with me. So they just want to know, they want to be a part of this. They want to get a team together. They just, so I said, I don't know if like, we want like a certain, like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like how we want to involve the schools. Should we go through groups, principals, or maybe for Algonquin, it's through the student, for other schools, it's the PTOs. I don't know.
Well, when I had spoken with Alana before, she said to go through the principals for the elementary.
Yep. Okay.
I'm not sure about the middle school. I'm thinking Greg will want us to mirror that. And I'm not sure about the high school. I don't know anything.
So should I feel like the DPW knew this group and kind of endorsed this group. So maybe for Algonquin, I'll go through this group. And then I could like CC the principal.
CC the principal. I think that's when there's going to be going back in 100%. So it might be a little crazy and they might not want to organize the team. So if we already have the team set up,
Okay.
you know,
Up to the principal though, maybe like the National Honor Society or something, like they need hours, because I'm sure they're having trouble getting hours right now with being social. Maybe they would want to do something, or student council.
So maybe multiple teams or something like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I have another question about the schools. So the schools, like, how should we market it? Like, you're going to do it on that Saturday as a group? Because that's what I was thinking, but I wanted to figure that out with how we should.
weekend, and Alana kind of set it up, and I think it had changed, like even due to the weather, the last time she did her team. Jen, you might remember. She did it. They just kind of set it up. They might even have done it like Sunday because it was rainy that Saturday.
Okay. So it's during the weekend though.
Mhm.
So maybe it's like any time that your school team can do it during the weekend, just like we say to like normal people, average people, just the average, not normal, you know what I mean?
To everyone.
Yes,
Just like
thank
us.
you.
Yeah, they just need to do it by the end of, right? They need to have them
Yeah.
out by Monday, I think it is.
For
They come around
the
and pick it up.
pickup, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it will be like, we'll market it as a weekend activity for them too.
Well, and we even this past year, right? We put them out like the beginning of the week. For COVID, didn't we give
Yeah.
everybody a full week to do it? So do we know if we're doing like an official kickoff on Saturday morning, or are we doing it like a soft rollout like we did for COVID with like the bins? Am I jumping ahead?
That's my next thing. So I've spoken with Kristen Black, Diane Legier, Kristen Black is our Board of Health agent. Diane is our temporary food inspector agent. I'm not sure the full title. And they both said food is fine. So there's like 0% chance that COVID will be transmitted on food as long as we have it individually wrapped. We're already going to be masked and we're going to be wearing gloves. So we can do, I like the soft rollout from last year because I feel like people can't always make it. So having the 2 bins set up on the sides of town, but then Saturday we are going to mimic the senior center drive-through for the Valentines at Ellsworth Park. I'm pointing to Ellsworth because it's right behind me, like, right there. And so they can drive through, and as they pick up their bags, gloves, and seeds, and we can say, would you like a coffee? We have muffins, and we're gonna reach out to Chick-fil-A to see if they want to be involved. But the way that Kristen had put it, like this might be the way that kids got interested to go with their parents. Like, oh, you're gonna come and get a muffin. She's like, so don't take away the fun part. We can get. I was thinking, we haven't discussed yet, but like we used our Wegmans money also to buy like bananas and oranges.
Mhm.
So just something to have while they're driving through. They pick up, we just hand it to them, and then off they go.
Doesn't Wegmans do like individually wrapped muffins now?
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, so I put in
That would
the
be
app.
easy enough.
Oh.
Sorry. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So
Oh,
Rebecca's applied to Wegmans, correct?
Yes, I did.
You
And I
reach out-
haven't, sorry, I think my sound's going in and out. I haven't heard back, but I'm sure we always seem to get approved for 100, so I'm sure we will again. And we can use that towards, like Susie said, some fruit. They do, like Pam said, they do have individual wrap muffins and bagels, and then bottles of water are very inexpensive, so I think we'll have plenty of food.
Do we have enough space at Ellsworth to do a drive through? I'm just worried about like getting like a backup onto 135. Like if I don't know why I'm thinking it.
If we through, we could either send them through to go by the pavilion, or we could have them enter on Davis.
All the way at
Davis
the other
entrance
end, right
and
by
come
the
all
skate
way.
park. Yep, and do it that way. Okay. I think just as long as we have that planned out pretty well, because for some reason I'm like convinced that it will get backed up onto 135 and it'll be the end of the world, but I really think it'll be fine.
If we have them loop through to go by the pavilion, because worst comes to worst, we can just keep making the loop bigger and deeper
Okay.
into the lot. You know what I mean? To come through. Should be, I don't think it should be too bad.
Okay. Just as long as we can figure out a good system to throw muffins into the car and be like, you need to? There you go. Coffee, only black. I'm not giving you any sugar. No creamer. Go.
Handle the tree lighting, I think we can handle. The handing out of this. I already spoke to my coffee hookup, and I just needed to know how many boxes of Joe we should ask for. 2 to 3. I know we had 2 to 3 in the past. We had wanted 5 to 6, but this is also COVID times. So what are you guys' thoughts?
Is there a way to get a bigger, you know, what are they called?
Craft, like we
yeah, the
get from
craft,
Wegmans.
like the
for
hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate, yeah.
Where you'd have more in that container rather than getting like multiple box of Joes. Is that possible?
Because if we didn't use the Joes, then we can like split them up to people. You know, we had brought some to different places
Yeah,
for the ones we didn't use. So I figured we could do that if they're smaller.
I think we brought some to the fire department.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
What
for
if we,
sure.
like, what if we just meet in the middle and say 4? I mean, like I know we're saying it's COVID, but it's also probably one of the first opportunities that people are going to feel like they're getting out and doing something. And if we want to
Yeah.
promote that, like we don't want to run out. So
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think we would need 6 necessarily, but
yeah.
I
I'd
think we'll
say,
need
yeah,
more than-
I'd say
think-
4.
I like 4. Yep.
We tend to run out of things, you know.
Kristen Black also had the suggestion from her old town. They had challenged the businesses to do it as well. So we talked about that and how we could challenge the businesses to clean up their own properties, but in a nice way. And then say, if you send a picture of you cleaning up your property, we'll advertise for them. You know, a bank advertise, you know, doing their property. The Dunkin' employees cleaning their drive-through. It's just a matter of if we will be getting email information from them or having to stop in. So I had spoken with Becca Meekins about that, and she's checking on that for me as well. And this is, and we also had a suggestion I just want you to put in the back of your minds for right now while we're talking about this, that maybe the town cleanup should be twice a year. They were saying quarterly. I don't think we could swing quarterly right away, but at least a spring and fall. So just kind of put that in the back of the head. We don't do anything. We're done with our summer concert series in August, and we don't have anything until pumpkins in October, which didn't really require a lot of work on our part until the snowy setup of pumpkins on a shelf. So just a thought to put out there. No
What about like an
decisions.
Apple Fest? Is it a bad idea to do like an Apple Fest cleanup? Be like, oh, town pride, clean up the town some more.
Or maybe like a
I've read
couple
about that.
weeks after it, just because people are out and about. I don't know. Like the last week in September.
Somewhere,
Yeah.
but
Even-
something to think about. Let it simmer back there, and we're very creative this year. So, and now we are on to one of our special guests, Kristen, who contacted me about some apps and she uses, and this was like kind of last minute, so I didn't even have a chance to look at them myself yet, but she was telling me about them and they sounded great.
Hi. Yes, so two Kristens tonight. Okay, so okay, so this all ties into what I spent a good chunk of 2020 working on, which I write children's books, and one of the things I do with the writers community that I belong to in Metro West is I'm the editor of we're a nonprofit, and I'm the editor of our children's poetry books. And we just came out with this one called Friends and Anemones, Ocean Poems for Children. So it's full of poems for kids. It's full of illustrations. It's got 70 different writers and artists that worked on it. And you're like, how does that tie into trash, right? Well, it's all about the ocean. So I learned so much I was just like, I love the ocean. Let's write ocean poems, everybody. And it was quite the journey for me because I learned so much about science and about how everything really is connected, and then also about sustainability and sustainable products and everything. So what was I going to start with? Okay, so the idea I had that I was pestering Susie with is, if we're going to do the town cleanup, like, let's not just clean up the town. Why? Because we always clean up the town. Let's think about really the reason behind why people even bother picking up their trash, right? The reason is that it's really important because basically all of the land on the planet is a giant watershed for the oceans. And anything that lands on the ground gets swept up into the water at some point, whether it falls near a stream or a pond, or whether it just washes away in the rain. I mean, if you walk down the same street all week and you keep seeing the same plastic bottle, and then one day it's gone, it either blew away in the wind or it got caught in a stream of water when it rained, and it's probably in a stream now. So, and that all ends up in the ocean, right? So when you see those horrible ads and videos about like sea animals with those rings around their necks, or, you know, the birds ripped apart and they have like inside their stomachs, they have all this plastic crap, like that, excuse me, that's how that happens. And a lot of the plastic is also, so like a plastic bottle will break into microplastics. So it might break into like a million tiny pieces, or it might just break into smaller pieces. But either way, it's either killing animals or it's getting into the bodies of the fish that then we eat. So it's bad for us too, that way. So, so the town cleanup is basically connected to the entire planet. Like Northborough's town cleanup is amazing for the planet, right? So I've worked to make the book. We partnered with an ocean cleanup nonprofit called the Rosalia Project, and they're in Maine, and they do a lot of, they have a sailboat, and they go around all around New England, and they pick up trash. And they have this saying, a lot of littles make a big. So that's what they tell, because they work with kids too. And so if you pick up one plastic bottle, that seems like a little thing. And you're like, of all that, you know, like I just walked past 6 plastic bottles, but I'll pick up one. You know what? It really is great, because you don't know how many microplastics that's going to turn into. And a lot of, you know, if you do one and your neighbor does one and everybody does one once in a while, it does build into a really awesome, wonderful thing. So, okay, where did I got a little ahead of myself here? Okay, so in the end of our book, we wanted to like, so it doesn't have any poems about, it has like environmentally aware poems and stuff, but nothing's like shaming you, making you feel like bad about, oh, I don't want to read that book because it makes me feel guilty because other people litter and I don't, but whatever. It's not like that. Anything that has an environmental bent in it is humorous. But at the end, we have this section where we have, it's like ideas of how kids can become an ocean protector. So like one of the really practical ones is things you can do at a birthday party, right? Because there is a poem in there about an underwater birthday party, but it's also something that kids think about a lot, right? Their birthday party. So it's got some ideas of like sustainable things you can do at your birthday party. But then also it has, this is the thing I was telling Susie about today. It has information about how you can become, by doing your littles that make a big, you can become a citizen scientist if you pair up with mom or dad and their phone, or maybe some of the older kids participating in this cleanup. Certainly the high school kids would have a phone, right? They all have phones. So there's this app called Clean Swell. I have I have it open here. And if you hit start collecting, it gives you this. And you can touch any of those. So it's cigarette butts, balloons, toys, fishing gear, plastic bags, food wrappers, plastic bottles, glass bottles, like all this stuff is listed on the app. And each time you pick one of those things up and stick it in your yellow bag, you touch it. So you're working with a partner. You have one person running the phone and one person picking up the trash. And it's actually really satisfying. One of my friends and I tried it a couple of times just to give it a go. And it becomes a little bit addictive. It's kind of like, ooh, how many of these did we get? Because at the end, when you hit like done collecting, it will show you your data, like how many of each thing that you found, and it gives you a little chart, and then it gives you a what is it? It's a rank. So if you do use it, like if people did get into it and they used it multiple times, like it gives you a rank and you earn a little, like a badge each time you do it. So in a way, it's sort of like a game, but that's not really important for the cleanup as much as just the idea that we could give ourselves, like I could organize it so that we had one, like for the people who are going to participate, we could have one code so that all our data from the cleanup all goes into this app. And the app's run by the Ocean Conservancy. So they're interested in this information too, right? And they're going to use it for their own keeping the ocean clean research and stuff. But it would be cool for our town to be able to say, we picked up like, 2,000 plastic bottles or whatever. Like that would be really cool. Cause then if we, if you lead ahead of time with a lot of littles make a big, like, well, that's a lot of littles, and that's a lot. So that's a really big, right? So I think it would inspire the kids. I mean, I used to do this all the time with my kids, and they just loved the actual like collection of trash, and we would compare with other families, like who picked up the weirdest thing and did anybody find any money and stuff like that. So it's kind of fun anyway, in a weird way. But maybe for the data collectors among us, it's also pretty cool to have this as an option. People don't have to do it, but if they want to participate in the app part of it, then we could generate some statistics on the back end. Might be kind of fun. So that was kind of my big pitch about that. And then I had a couple other comments about some of the things you were talking about before. But did you have any questions?
Idea to offer it to people was a great idea, because that's like the most popular thread on Northborough moms is like, what did you pick up this weekend for trash? They're like, I found, a hunting knife. I found
Yeah.
17 Nips bottles, and I found,
Yeah.
so if we could have that data and then use it and then try to be like our next one, we're going to try to beat it and get more. And I just thought it was a great idea. And if you have someone who's like too little to really, you don't want them picking up the bottles and whatnot, like give them the phone and they can hit the button and tell you, while you're picking up the trash. What do you guys
Thinking-
think?
oh,
Oh, yeah.
I kept thinking when you were talking, Kristen, about all the items, how many masks I see, disposable masks. Like my son and I were playing tennis at Z School on Sunday, and like it's like so many disposable masks like behind the basketball court,
They're
like
everywhere.
everywhere.
They're all
So
over the high school. It's gross. And
Right.
PPE is one of the categories on the thing.
oh, good.
So it's gloves
And like how you have to cut them so they don't get. Was reading about that a couple months ago, so they don't get caught around the seagulls like the everything else. So
yeah,
next.
yeah.
Anyway, I like it. Maybe we could just give out maybe we could do a QR code. We love QR codes in this committee. So
Okay,
like,
yeah.
as you
I'm
drive
sure
through, you
there's
scan.
probably a way to do a QR code to get to the app. The app's free too, by the way, of course.
Oh yeah, great, perfect.
Yeah.
What's
So-
the name of the app? What's the
It's
name
called
of it?
Clean Swell. Clean
Okay.
Swell. It's 2 words. It looks like, what does it look like? It looks like a little, you know what? It's too small to show, but it has like a globe and a sea turtle, a couple of sea turtles inside a wave.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
It's yeah. And so I think it would be fun. And I mean, it is a little bit addictive. And I have seen a lot of people, when we were all walking in the spring and the summer and the fall, because there was like nothing else to do. A lot of people were picking up trash, but not everyone. And like I ran into this couple who they were like, "Are you picking up nip bottles?" Because I was picking up trash walking my dog. And I was like, "Yeah, I see nip bottles all the time." And they were like, "One day we saw 99 nip bottles." And I'm like, "Great, you picked them all up?" And they were like, "No." But anyway, so much for that. So in the interest of all this, though, I was thinking when I was listening to you talk about the food and stuff that you're going to give away, maybe don't give plastic water bottles, just to be able to say, we ask you all to bring your own water, fill up your own water bottles and bring it up, so we're being part of the solution, and demonstrate for the families and the kids in particular that you guys are on board with all this, kind of trying to make the earth healthier and no single-use plastic bottle. And then as far as the high school, I have a high school kid and I live near the high school. And my high school kid is my youngest, so I've been around teenagers a lot the last 7 years. And they need an adult supervisor up there. Every year they do a high school cleanup in the spring. And I mean, before the pandemic, we were allowed to walk our dogs up there even during the school day. And I was always like, this was the day after pickup, and you guys, come on, so I would just recommend that there be some sort of adult volunteer kind of up there with the kids, maybe one of the parents or something, one of the parents of the, I'm not sure. We can talk about that later, but I do think you need an adult supervisor, because they're good kids. They're going to get away with it if they can, More town cleanups is a great idea. I told Susie that too. I agree with you guys. And as far as your businesses goes, that's a fantastic idea. And I've thought about that too. But don't just concentrate on the businesses that are the commercial businesses. Concentrate on the industrial businesses too. Like I know further down Bartlett Street, I live on Bartlett, further down there where all the warehouses are, where Amazon and FedEx are, like their property in a little ways is very clean, but right along the road, I don't know who's throwing stuff out the window quite so much, but it's gross. So yeah, let's see if we can get and I'm sure that's the case at other places where there's a giant business somewhere and they kind of don't think about the road. And I'm sure if you mention it, you know, and we're doing a town cleanup, like I'm sure they'd be willing.
Right, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the, and the stamp and the seeds. I'm gonna be ordering a stamp. I still have to figure out about uploading it to get the reusable stamp. We were all in agreement about that, correct? And then we can just stamp everything. Okay. And the seeds, I was thinking sunflower seeds, untreated sunflower seeds, not treated for birds, I mean, so that kids could grow them. There's something that you can see, you can put them in a pot, you can put them outdoors and they won't be like, they're not a wild or invasive flower. I guess some of the plant groups I was in. Thoughts on that? Anybody, flower thoughts?
As long as we can stamp those packets with our stamp.
Okay. I
Just,
don't want to have to do it. I want it all in one.
one other thing, just to something that, you know, Kristen had said that I think might be a fun idea. I don't know, when people sign up, do we know who they are when they sign up to do the cleanup? So I'm thinking maybe as like a prize, and we can just pick random winners, maybe we can get some of the reusable like Swell or whatever water bottles that are reusable with our logo on it, and then give away however many we can afford to like give away to folks that participated. Not everyone, I don't think we could afford to do it for everyone that participated, but maybe we could pick some folks out of the hat. So
Yeah.
reminding people, you can win this if you participate, this reusable water bottle.
An awesome idea. And yeah, it does, the app keeps track of who you are.
So for signups, when we do our sign up, separate from the app, but like when we sign up for our areas, we could do, like when we start to publicize, we could say like the first 25 people to sign up will get a free, you know, community affairs water bottle. You know, it would get people like organizing their groups quick, and I don't know. I love that idea though. Or the first 25 people to show up for the breakfast. I don't know. But I think we
The backup on 135.
Yeah, exactly.
there's
So
the
I
backup.
would, I would rather like the incentive for people to sign. Lisa. Awful idea. Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
I like the idea of the
Very
first 25 that sign up. The first 25 that sign up, so that people, that way it gets everyone motivated to get right in there and get online signing up for the event.
And also from the sign up, we can send out emails reminding them to download the app, reminding them, you know, of different things too, as things go on. The entrance, if they want to do the drive-through, that all of that information too. I think I'm going to need you guys to log in because it's hard to share, and it would be hard to share on screen unless you were like in there and we can view it, and then you guys can let me know if you see any changes that need to be made.
Will you send it to us? Yeah.
Okay, any other ideas on town cleanup? The Swell bottle. So maybe we could look into getting a couple Cricut or whatever made for the bottles. Yeah. All right. Next on the agenda was the small business bingo that we were thinking of. And before we dive into doing that, and Kristen, if you want to go, you can. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for that.
Hi.
Before we get into planning that, I wanted to skip over to summer concerts because I had a revelation this week and I've discussed it with our band coordinator, Pam, and Becca Meekins and Kristen Black, and with the announcements of the COVID vaccines today. And I was wanted to propose cutting our concert season down from 5 to 3. Concerts are a go. Kristen told me if we were to start planning them today for June, we're going to act as though it's all of the health things that are in place right now, the stage that we're at, we plan it like it's today, which would be difficult figuring out like for 150 people or whatever it is outside. We were thinking about having two different concerts, same band, different times during the day, doing the drive-in at the high school, but they wouldn't be able to get out of their car. If they were at the high school, out of their car, staying within the area. So all of these different things. And I was like, if we do all this planning and then we're going to be so much better, I don't want us to be wasting a lot of energy. So I thought cutting it down to 3. So we would start in the end of July and do 2 for August, if that would work. And Kristen was all for this idea. Becca was all for this idea. So I just thought that would be easier. Also, food trucks are a go. So we get to plan food trucks for it, according to Kristen Black, our health agent, and Diane Lejeune, the food health inspector. We can just push the trucks back against the fence more so there's more room for a line. Have signs up that just say like, take your food back to your spot to eat it. Stay masked until you return. And these are small businesses that, need help as well. So that was, the whole thing of it. And food trucks, like, let's give them the business. So I did reach out to Northborough House and they're very interested because they're always there for us. And I let Archie's know. He's a local business owner as well. So I wanted to get your thoughts on who else we should reach out, and Pam can go over the bands that she's spoken with.
So we have we done Yulman's before too? It's always fun to have an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
do
The
Yulman's.
other one will show up too, right?
The other guy just comes.
Yeah.
Juniper Farms or whatever.
We usually rotate between Yeoman's, I think, and Yummy Mummy, don't we?
I thought Humans was at every one. No?
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was like 3 years ago. I think maybe I'm thinking,
No.
Yeah, you'll
I think
have to
last
do
year it
everyone
was-
2 summers ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. For food trucks, there's another new food truck in town. I've driven by a few times. I think they're still getting set up. I haven't seen them open, but it might be nice. Yogi Hoagie.
Yeah.
They started it.
Sorry.
Yeah, they're new. They're where the barbecue
Texas
place
barbecue.
was.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like since we invite Archie's, it might be nice to invite them too, since they're another local.
I agree.
And I can work on that if you want. If people like, or down the line, I can help with food trucks if you want.
New place, he raised his traveling bones. He grew up in Northborough and raised his children here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people like
So-
that.
So I
Yep.
thought, yeah.
I think another one that's popular was the grilled cheese. Say cheese.
Mhm. How many do we usually do? What do we do? Like 2 trucks and then
I like
like
3.
I think we do
food-
3.
usually
2
food
food,
and, like,
1
a
ice
sweet-
cream.
Yeah.
But then for
yeah.
Grateful Dead, we do like 4.
Okay. Because
Right.
I'm just thinking if we're having 3 concerts, but it seems like if we do like 3 or 4.
Oh yeah, we're naming a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So we have to really think about that.
Mhm.
So we have Playing
know.
Dead is confirmed, and we have them tentatively booked for the end of July. I think it was July 25th, Susie, right? And then the other one that we were able to get them to agree to the previous price was the Cold Harbor, the Billy Joel
Okay.
piano. by.
Yeah.
So we haven't nailed down a date for that, but we were thinking obviously August. And then we needed to decide on one other band. I reached out to all the previous bands that we had in 2019, and I only heard back from those two that we have booked for this summer. So
Okay.
we would need to decide on one more.
So you reached out to the ones that would have played this coming
Correct.
summer, Pam?
Yeah,
Like,
who
we
we
had to
booked
cancel?
last summer. Yes.
Okay. So should we go back to, since we've only heard back from two, should we go to the 2019 list?
Good.
You know what I mean? I don't know, just because we
Mhm.
know and we can like,
Well, I think, didn't we pick the 2020 list based on who we liked the best from 2019? I can't remember. Trying to
Then
think
we
back
picked
to where
one
we
new
were a year
one.
ago.
Well, I think Cold Harbor was a new one, right?
Cold Harbor was
no.
new.
Oh, see,
Oh, no, they did play. You're
They
right.
did, because that's
They
like the one I
played.
went to. They were
Yeah.
really good. And then there was, I can't remember the rest of them. There was another, what was it, like Front Porch or something like that. I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Do you think
No.
that we're going to have more people at these because of everybody being stuck for so long? I'm just worried about the numbers, and I think things are going to get like normal, so people are going to want to come out. So I think we should be prepared for maybe bigger crowds if it's possible.
Is we're gonna be planning it as though there can't be more people.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we're either gonna count people at the parking lot. She's like, we will get creative.
Okay.
She wants these to happen. People want these to happen. Other towns had them last summer, so they are it's the technical difficulties that we, the physical aspect that we will hammer out later. And she's actually going to come to our April 21st meeting, our next meeting. She's going to be a guest, and we're going to talk about it at the beginning of the meeting because she has stuff to do after. But she's just going to talk to us about, being creative and how we can do this, and we might have to limit people, and that'll just have to be how it is. But after talking with her the first time, I talked to her again today, I felt more than confident that whatever plan we put in place would be able to limit it to be safe and socially distant. So I feel like with the vaccine rollout, say everybody's done, they say not everybody, but like end of June, July, I think we'll be in a better place, the best place we can be in late July. But we'll be planning it as though we're hopefully in like May, which the vaccines will have started rolling out. So, and I think we're going to stage 4 on Monday, or level 4, or what? It's like
4.1. 4.1,
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
On Monday.
What does that mean?
So,
I don't even know.
It's doing more. I don't know.
I stopped listening. I was like, I don't know.
I was getting so stressed out about it as well. Like, how are we going to pull this off for late June and July? And everyone's going to want to be there. And how are we going to make this work? And even organizing everything, because it is hard to, when we can't meet together even, So I thought that would just be the best. Like, let's limit it to 3, and then we're going to figure it out. Maybe we have to do a ticket system. A QR code, if you will.
A wristband or something. Well, what if we let people go down to the lower soccer fields? I know it's not ideal, but I mean, what if we just spread people out and we're like, you can't be on these upper soccer fields, you have to go down into the bowl. You can kind of hear it, but you're still in like because the gazebo is technically in the middle, right? Ish.
Yeah.
There's the other side of the gazebo that no one really goes on either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like near that hill, that really steep sledding hill.
The lower soccer field. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm,
are things like, and I'll reach out to her and see if she can just drive over there, because I'm sure she's driven by it a million times, but like,
Mhm.
do you want to meet me there, and I'll show you where everything usually is. And
Yeah.
so she'll have a better idea coming to the meeting. But I just wanted to run that past you before we start planning like another new event for like May, because I was like, oh my goodness, a little too much. So and honestly, like I wouldn't want to plan a concert for like this right now, not knowing what it's going to be like in a month
Yeah.
for
Jessica,
June.
yeah. Jessica made a really good point earlier too. We don't know what our sponsorships are going to look like for these concerts either. So the fact that we're doing 3 instead of 5 kind of takes some of that monetary, like some of that stress off of it too, because they are our biggest expense. So yeah, I think it makes sense from that standpoint too.
With our former chair Lisa, because just to see who her contacts were, and like even for Chick-fil-A, like just can you introduce me? Can you send an email? Just so that it'll be a little bit easier, because again, like even stopping in person to these places, I'm wearing a mask and I feel like it's like hard to really have a connection with someone. So that's where we're at with that.
So
and then, yeah.
do you want me to email the other 3 bands one more time, just to reach out to them, and if they don't respond, then we move on to?
I think we should frame it kind of like we have 1 slot left. We decided, we're paring down for this summer only. We're going to be doing it in August. We're working with our Board of Health agent to make sure this is a safe environment for you guys and for our people, and tell them we will have food trucks too. I think would be okay. We will have food available. We can't have our beloved face painter. We won't be able to have like the handouts that we normally, like the bouncy balls, I'm sure, and everything, but
can we do the
trying
balloon?
to make it as
Yeah,
normal.
can she still do balloons?
The balloon animals?
Can she still do the balloons?
And then she's putting a mouth on it. No, I can't hear you.
No, you keep on going in and out. Yeah. Maybe your earrings interfere with them.
Maybe, is that better?
Yeah.
And it's like your first couple words don't get picked up. It's kind of, I don't know. See, I can't hear you.
I'll take them out. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Maybe instead of like the balloons or the face paint, we could think of like something else for the kids, like a little like magician guy on the side. I don't know, like something different, like that involves no touching, but could make them happy. Or Roe Reptiles, Jaylon Rowe's husband's private collection. Maybe they would be willing to come for a little show and tell, like for the kids. I don't know. I'm just thinking something for the kids, since they do count on this being like, I don't know. They count on this.
I don't know how that would work, because we don't want a crowd gathering around a guy like Dylan,
I think we can definitely think on it. There's got to be.
Yeah, let's think of something fun for kids. Yeah.
I don't think balloon animals is terrible. You were making a face, so we couldn't hear what you said about balloon animals.
Oh yeah, I was like, they're filled with air.
Well, and
but
she's
it's not like
putting
they
her
blow
mouth.
it. I mean,
oh no,
no, they use a hand pump.
Yeah, they do.
They do. There's a little laugh there.
But,
they don't blow it up with their mouth.
We'll have to see how it is with our sponsorship as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because that is more.
Right. True.
And we are going to have fantastic bands. So 2 out of the 3 are very popular. So
kids are just going to be happy to like hear it. You know what I mean? Like they're going to be happy no matter what. So the fact we're doing it in a safe way, they can get their ice cream, they can get their French fries. I mean,
You'd hand out masks, disposable masks. I don't know.
You get the stamp.
Ooh, Ooh,
with
you
our
could
stamp on
paint,
it.
decorate your
stamp on it.
mask. You could have a mask decorating contest.
Oh, can we make
Got
our
like
own mask
disposable
with our
ones that you
logo
could
on
like
it?
draw on. Yep.
That's a fun idea. I like that.
Instead of face painting, it's mask decorating.
Love our contests.
Mm.
Okay, so back to the small business. And we could also, I know it's getting late and we had a late start. But I just wanted to get some ideas out there. Rebecca and I had talked about a couple today a little bit, and we can just start brainstorming on them and kind of tie it all together at our April meeting, because we won't really have a lot to talk about the town cleanup, and Munchie Madness will be done. So did you?
Yeah.
We were thinking about a different schedule, so it won't be like the full month of May, maybe 2 weeks, include like 2 weekends and a week. Small business
Do we want
bingo.
Are we doing it around Mother's Day? Because we were thinking like you could do like Mother's Day shopping, right?
Yeah, I don't know if we could, because if we pushed it a little later, we could do, I mean, we have Father's Day coming up. We could say teacher appreciation, you know, get your garden going, because we do have a, you know, some flower spots, plant spots. What are your thoughts?
Graduation gifts.
Yeah. We can market it a couple different ways.
So when are we doing, to go back one step, town cleanup, are we doing it the 24th of April, or did we change it to Earth Day or whatever? No, okay.
No,
so still the
24th of April,
okay.
yep.
Okay, so then we're talking about 2 weeks in May to do this?
And
did
we were thinking even May, we could push it to early June now that
I'm
we don't have
almost thinking we
concerts.
should.
Yeah.
So that we
don't
can
have
plan this at our
Mother's
next
Day.
meeting.
And take a little break.
Yeah, take a little break, and we don't have the concerts now. Like we got rid of that, like kind of obstacle, or not obstacle, but you know what I mean? Like
that planning
we
piece
have
of it.
yes, thank you. And maybe then it could be like Father's Day, graduation. Because Father's Day is
What even Mother's Day is? It's not on my calendar.
the 20th. So we could do it like the first, like June 5th. We could kick it off on like Saturday the 5th and have it end on like, you know, the 13th. So
I
like
would
we
even
have 2
say
weeks.
Friday. Like
What's that?
Friday. You know?
Oh, Friday. Yeah,
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah.
Yes, like we did for this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, that's kind of like two big things people buy things for or go out for, you know, frequent
Yeah,
businesses
seniors,
for.
teachers.
Yeah, you could do Father's Day, Teachers Appreciation. When's Teachers Appreciation? Isn't that's in June,
That's
right?
the beginning of May, but also people get, we
end
could
of
say
year.
teachers like end of year
End of
teachers
year.
gift,
The end of year, yeah.
because everyone does that. So
Yeah.
and people are really going to want to thank teachers when, you know.
Yeah. And people, I mean, I know people are usually plant at the end of May, but you can still plant at the beginning of June. So even the flower thing will work
Yeah.
for that.
Get your vacation gear.
Yeah.
Get your gardening plants.
Yeah. Whatever you need to stock up for the summer. Your summer
What
needs.
what did we land on? I was looking at my calendar and not listening enough.
So I just had said, I don't know what people think about this, June 4th.
Okay.
To like the possibly maybe June 13th. So then, like Susie said, there's 2 weekends in there.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to, like, we're not making it too long.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
And this will definitely, I'm asking this, but I would suggest we do it this way. But I'm thinking of how hard it was to like get to all the restaurants. Could we possibly make this like an opt-in instead of an opt-out?
So, but we still have to get to them to get to an opt-in, right? We still have to give them the information.
I say we like email them. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like not
Yep.
go physically, because it's too many businesses. Like
Yeah.
we do like a blanket mail, like a mailing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Well,
please
especially if
respond
we
to us
start
by.
it- like early too. If
We could either do a
started-
mailing or an email or both, so that
Yep.
we've contacted them, and then it's on them to let us know if they want to do it. And then we're not missing someone, like
true.
physically, like you know, like there were restaurants we had to go to multiple times, and, you know, Susie and I
Okay.
had some interesting, and Pam too, interesting. And Beth, I mean, we've had to go back multiple times to places and call, and so that's my suggestion, but I mean, we could do it a different way. It's just,
I like that idea.
I like to,
I like
and then that
too.
way, I think, yeah, and then that way, if that works, we
Contactless.
could do that for restaurant next year too. Like if that's just
Do it,
easier
yeah.
overall to do, it just makes our life easier. Or people who actually went to the restaurants, because I didn't, because I'm bad. So yeah.
And if we
I-
happen to stop in the businesses, you know, a couple weeks before, just
Right.
know what's going
Mhm.
on.
mhm.
Yeah, because they might want to plan sales around it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
to do the restaurant one, Lisa pulled like a restaurant list. It was what, like licensing from the town. So we're gonna have to figure out if there's like a master list we can pull to start generating email addresses.
Well, Scott, are you there? I think our liaison's on here.
I am, Susie. I'm just on a really bad microphone.
Oh, okay. We were wondering if maybe you could check into seeing if we could get some sort of like business license list for us. I don't know if that would work. I don't know, retail establishments.
And-
Just so we
and
would have a list. We wouldn't even need the contact information, just so that we could contact them.
Yeah, just so we
Right,
can
I
look them
may
up.
have that from a previous request. I'll check right now. If I have it, I'll forward it on. If not, we'll ask for it again.
Okay, thank you.
I like the
that was
helpful
easy.
voice. Right, there you go.
All right.
You ask and you shall receive. Thank you.
Indeed. That's awesome.
So anybody have anything else on this late St. Patrick's Day meeting of ours?
I promised Emma I would bring up something for November.
Aw.
Oh,
She'd watched some sort of YouTube, I don't know if it was like through school or whatever, but she saw a YouTube video of people making a domino of cereal. And I thought it was a cute idea for like, you know, November, where I was trying to collect food for people for the food pantry and see if we could have people donate boxes of cereal and maybe Ellsworth McAfee, line them all up, and maybe we could get like someone who has a drone, record the domino effect, and then donate them. It was her idea. Threw it out there. Thought it was kind of cute. Something that we could kind of
Like
maybe
see
get
how
people
big the
excited about
domino
watching
can
the
get.
domino effect.
That's
Yeah.
super cute. Yep,
Yeah, I like
that
that.
is
I like that.
brilliant.
That's fun. Yeah.
It's fun. I don't know. I think everyone's always trying to figure out, you know, where they can donate food around that time. So because it's another place that
It's a good
folks can do
idea.
it, and we could have a little fun
Mhm.
event for it.
I think it's perfect. I like it. We could, because I mean,
Good job,
even if
Emma.
you donated like other food
Yeah.
boxes too, it doesn't even have to be cereal. I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't know how it will work. They're not like
Yeah,
the same
right.
size and- Well, we can
Not
figure
an
it out.
engineer.
Yeah, I thought it was cute, and she made me promise I would mention it. So
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
Thank you, Emma.
We should have had her be a special guest
I
too.
know.
I told her
Maybe not at 8:30. 'cause she's probably
Yeah.
bad.
she's in bed. Hopefully, Dad's in charge.
Hopefully.
All right. Was there anything else? Did anyone have anything else on the list of anything? So I'll make the announcement tomorrow for the prizes. So just share, and pester your neighbors and friends to enter the contest and to try someplace new. I know that the restaurants, the owners that I met were so grateful. I just want to say
Same.
that again on
They
our
were.
public recording, and if anyone's out there watching us, they were so grateful. So it's worth all the hard work, I think, in
Yeah,
getting their names
for
out there,
sure.
reminding people like we don't have to cook. It's been a year. Let's go out to eat. So
Yeah. I had
The
one
post
owner with
you've
like
been doing.
tears in her eyes, like when she
Same.
was like, if I could hug you, I would, like they're really,
Huge. Yeah.
yeah.
And the posts you've been doing, Susie, are great. I
Yeah,
love how you've been featuring them. They look
Yeah.
awesome.
Great.
I asked a lot of them if there was anything that they wanted me to feature. So I've been trying to go off of that, but
They look great.
yeah, they're great. Really great. So I'm looking forward to our next event and the cleanup and sharing the post about Louise too. I think you guys will get a kick out of getting to know her. She seemed like an amazing woman, but all right, do we have a motion? Do we have
A motion to end the meeting.
Second?
I'll second.
Second it.
I say aye.
Mhm.
Lisa,
Aye.
Liz, just give me a thumbs up, Liz.
Take a big old bite.
Pam?
Aye.
Okay. I think we lost Jess to bedtime, so this meeting can be adjourned.
Thanks,
Good night,
Susie.
guys.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Chief, for coming in.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Welcome.